Welcome everybody. How we doing? All right. We have had quite a week, busy week there. Joe, I'm echoing just a little bit, so I'm gonna mute you, just letting you know that I can't hear you. But we are going to be getting going here. So busy week. We got a good amount to talk about. SPY is testing our big old breakout. We are going to be positioning for a pretty decent move up here until we get confirmation that it isn't working. So I'm looking for swings. There's a lot of stuff we can talk about. Entered a good amount of positions this week, looking to enter a good amount more next week. So I want to get right on into it. I'm going to whip my charts up here and we'll get going. All right. We'll let some people filter in and just do a little bit of an overview here before we get into too many details. So I'm going to pull up my daily chart here. We got the cues. We got this real tempting volatility contraction pattern. So keeping it real simple to start off, we got the downtrend line. We are cooking it here. And in general, whenever there's a level of interest, I really am interested after 3 to 4 touches. So we get the first touch, can call that a second. Maybe we nudge this down just a little bit. One touch, you could consider that 2, but I'd say 1, 2, 3, and now the fourth attempt through this level. Very often that will be the time that pops through. So you can consider 3 the standard, 3 is the rule, and 4 is a gift. If you get 4, you really want to be looking and seeing if that can pop through. Welcome. That's Rodrigo. Hope I'm saying that right. You made some money on Oscar and NVO. Yeah, the Oscar move off the ACA bill going through. What's it called? ACA renewals going through. Nice hammer today. It did close a little bit on the red side, but I kind of like that. Makes me think that we might get a little bit of sideways action here, and we get another entry for a push up here. So this is a really nice setup for a few reasons. We got a double bottom going on here. We really like that. We like this big gap getting basically filled. At the very least, yeah, we can draw out this bottom candle where these are the last sellers, right? That move right down there. And then when we come back into it, we want to see what was a sell level before we gapped up. We want to see that still hold there. So we really like that it held there. I wish I was watching this in these days because that's beautiful. It's a beautiful trade there. Now we get the gap up to this previous pivot, and now we're eating our way through, and it looks to me like this is going to be a W pattern here. It's going to come back up in here before pushing higher. And on a higher time frame, I'm glad you brought this chart up because this is absolutely incredible for a higher time frame chart. Got a massive cup and a massive well-developed handle here that's just coiling and coiling and coiling and coiling. I mean, these are monthly candles. This thing's been coiling for a year and a half now. When this thing decides to go, which maybe now, we're talking a double. We're talking $30 stock, at least. So really big fan of this one. A couple other things to note on the weekly here. We have the triple moving averages, the triple moving average cluster, just really getting tight, flat, and now starting to curl up. Zoom in a little for you. See those guys? See them getting super tight here as we start box trading, and then now we are getting very close to. We have a flattened out middle one there, that 50-day or 50-week. We have our 21 ticking up and our lower time frame one ticking up there too, our 9. So that's a good support, a good level. If we back test the 1670, 1660 area, really want to take a stab there, but I think maybe it's just off to the races here. Last thing I'll point out is a similar thing of the moving averages on the daily. We have the bullish crossover happening 2 days ago of the 9 over the 21, and we got the nice expansion off that. Now we have the 9 crossing over the 50, and we should get expansion off of that too. If not right off the out of the gate next week, then pretty soon after that. So really big fan of this one here. What is up? Hey, Tyler. Good to see you, man. So let's start with the indices. We'll talk about how I traded them, where I think we're going, and then we can move into the more individual trades, the fun stuff here. But SPY, we talked about Q having that downtrend line, looked like a volatility contraction pattern there. We got a similar look, but even stronger on SPY. You could consider this an ascending triangle. So obviously you see the top level here, this 1, 2, 3, fourth knock. Now we're trying to power through. So we really like that look. And then we like that it's just kind of holding this up here as well. See that? Really clean there. Did the fake breakdown here and held. And that was when, to me, this turned from a potential rising wedge into an ascending triangle, which is much more stable and has much more incentive to break the top here, come back, test the base, and then push out in a breakout. If we do get this move, this is what we're kind of looking at for a measured move. We'll take our, take our fibs here. And here's how we measure. Whoops. We take our 0 point, that goes at the bottom of the range. We take our top point. Initially, we put it on the left side here, and that works just as well, to be honest. We could put it right here as well. But in general, this is the range that we are entertaining a breakout from. So where we decide whether we break out or whether we reject is going to be the 1.27 fib, the extension of this range. Very often, obviously not always, but it's good enough to be a rule for me and a lot of other fib traders. So I always have this level on my extensions. And to me, this is super, super clean. This is a high probability setup when you have this range project out exactly to 700, because that just makes sense, right, guys? We are coiling under the 700 level. We're all expecting a 700 test. Doesn't mean that we go smashing through it, but there's the possibility. But doesn't that make sense logically as a pivot? So when this range is formed, the test level, as soon as this bottom tick was put in, it was like the 700 was programmed. If we are going to be bullish, if this range is going to consolidate at the top and push up, it would make sense for this to be the exact bottom, because that would make 700 the exact rejection point. It also makes sense because it's essentially rating into under these stops and right into this previous range high. If we go like this, right from the breakout level here, where it pushed up, rejected, then once it reclaimed, it pushed off. That's the level where we kind of retested. So to me, this is a very controlled move. I think we get the 700 next week, if not in 2 weeks, probably 2-3 days away. So if we see a really strong surge early in the week to 700, that might actually be a sign that we are kind of manipulating the weekly candle into a top wick into this level, and then we might reject down. Not saying that we will, but I would not mind to see some inside days tomorrow, some tight action here, maybe back testing this rising blue squiggly 9-day moving average, and then getting the expansion through midweek so that the weekly candle looks nice and bullish, starts with a little bottom wick and then closes near the high. That's what I would like to see, closing with the high, ideally through 700. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on SPY. Really quick, I want to talk about IWM just because, boy, oh boy, this one is looking even better than SPY and definitely better than Q's in terms of just relative strength here. The one thing that you can say is there's a chance that this is a rising wedge. So we do want to watch what happens here. But to me, this is looking like a very powerful, very explosive squeeze setup here. And what's coloring my view of that isn't just this daily candlestick pattern, but also this longer term monthly candlestick pattern that is loading. Let's try a weekly. So here we have another range. And we can do the same thing. We measure bottom to top. I'm sorry, top to bottom. So from this lip here, the previous range high, all the way to the previous range low. And what do you see? 265. That's going to be our 127 fib. So you see how we're already pushing way above that? We're almost to the 127 level where we decide whether we're breaking out or not. To me, this looks very constructive. So I would not be surprised to see a squeeze through this up to 290 over the next couple months. That's the big bull case. The intermediate term bull case is we tag this and then we need to rebase and it's tight and we don't hard reject. This doesn't become a rising wedge, which pops and then falls all the way down. Obviously that would be bad, but I still see a lot of potential for IWM. Tomorrow, Monday. Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, it's been a long week. Monday. Good news is that tomorrow is not going to be bearish because the market is closed. So we always have that to look forward to. All right, guys, let's get into some individual charts. So I'm going to pull up my watch list on the side here. Bear with me. So we got a lot to talk about. We can start with the memory names. Those guys are absolutely surging despite a pretty big pullback yesterday. Really strong response today. So I want to start there, I think, because that really tells the story of what's leading us up. We'll start with semiconductors, then move into more specifics here. So first off, semiconductors, absolutely very strong. See, we just got the same pattern on a lot of the leading sectors here. It's just an upward basing push up here. Yesterday was the backtest buy level right off the previous, and now it's going to break out higher through this new little pivot we formed. Oops. There we go. So really nice constructive price action here. Love to see it, and we can go ahead and project our measured move. Remember, top of the range to bottom of the range. 127, if we can break through 395, 393-ish, we should get a nice push up to 414. So that is the semiconductors as a whole, but we have a smaller subsector that's really, really taking control here. And that is this beautiful memory segment of MU leading, SanDisk coming in second. So you have MU here, SNDK is here. This one just played catch up, and this one's actually leading now. Absolutely beautiful. We have WDC, Western Digital. This one's lagging just a little bit, but still looks very strong on the back test, pushing up higher. These are all going to squeeze, I do believe. So these are on the focus list next week for my momentum plays. And there's one other that I'm forgetting. MU, SNDK, WDC, STX, Seagate. Yeah, this one looks essentially just like WDC. So if you missed the other two, Micron is like in second place right now. SanDisk is leading because they just took the kind of momentum lead. You have these guys which should play catch up. They are less extended from their base here, as you can see, compared to the one like this, for example. And, you know, we were talking about this one in here. I did not get nearly enough. I talked about it on this day right here. This day right here, and I got scared. Sure wish I stuck with the idea, though. That being said, MU still looks buyable to me. I know it's scary, but if you define your risk with the stop under this bottom of the pivot, under this 9-day moving average, it's rising up. You can see all the way on this uptrend, it has not violated and closed under this 9-day. So you can keep that rule on. You can buy wherever and just say, hey, my stop is a daily close under this candle, and I'm just betting that we get a squeeze before that comes into play. Definitely very, very strong, and this is a fundamental move, guys. These are not just squeezes on crappy companies. They are very, very high quality companies in the midst of a potential super cycle. I think that's the most important part. It's not even that their management is super stellar. It's that there is a structural demand shortage for these things, and it seems like that's not not done yet. Hey, Richard, good to see you, brother. Are we long? Are we long these guys in this account? Let me know. We were batting around, jumping into these yesterday, so we'll see if my guy Richard here pulled the trigger. Yeah, Joe, long week for you too. I feel that. I feel that. All right, so we talked some Micron, some WDC, some SanDisk, all good stuff. We talked semiconductors. There are some other leading sectors that we got to talk about. First off, we got drones. You know, we got to talk drones. ONDS, big moves, big moves. We tagged 15 2 days in a row here, and you know what? I'm out of the position. I know I said I thought it was going to 20, but hey, I got in an 8-ish, 850, 860 cost basis. And it was a big move. It was a big move. We took profits into the previous high at 1173.12-ish. Took more profits into 13 because I didn't know what we were doing yet. Thought we might reject back. Another breakout day. And these top wicks have me a little sus, combined with we have news of a share offering at a higher price, but they have warrants. It's a complex thing, which basically, in my book, it gives the potential for some financial wizardry slash shenanigans slash they could potentially end up selling this back to a reasonable level after such an insane move like this. We also have Chinese drone news. I forget exactly what it was. Probably something about either tariffs or sanctions, or probably just some kind of control on drone parts. So I got to look into the actual headline, but I got noticed that there was a headline, and I had already had that other one kind of in my head. So I just got out of the rest of my position. What I'd love to see is a back test of a previous key level, like this 12. See the big volume shelf there, as well as the rising moving averages. If it comes back down there and starts stabilizing, building out a base, maybe off of this level, well, then I get really interested again. I still love the narrative long term, but just with this short term, kind of potentially volatility inducing headline, for me, it's just easier to lock in the gains and wait for the next move. So this Chinese drone news also hit RCAT pretty heavily here. You see the same thing, had big breakouts, and now we're just kind of stalling here into the previous pivots. Something like that. I still like these names. I still think these are definitely on the focus list for this year, but I just got to take profits when something is almost a double in a couple weeks there, and we can reassess. RCAT and what else? Where was the other drone? UMAC, Unusual Machines. This one's a little bit less extended, which means I'm a little bit more interested in it. See, it's kind of just forming this base here, and it's kind of back testing into this gap, into this moving average. This one's more appealing to me for getting in the shorter term, despite the fact that I think Ondas is a better company overall. I think this is still quite a good company. So keeping an eye on that for sure. Let's see, what was the one that I showed last that wasn't overextended? UMAC right here? Or are we talking? Oh, I'm sorry. You were talking probably the memory plays. So we had WDC and we also had Seagate. So this one I think is looking nice because it's not too overextended at all. Richard, if you're in here, by the way, maybe look at Western Digital for leverage on the sector without chasing too much. So this one to me looks like we are just back testing this kind of area. See that? And we have the moving averages nice and tight here, and we're just pushing up out of that. So I really like this chart, Western Digital. The other one is STX. I think this one's a little less appealing, but it's basically the same. Basically the same. Got this pivot right there, and it's a box trade off there. So getting really tight in here, it's going to try to surge, back test. Now it should have, clear skies ahead here. Right on, Richard, saying that Micron is the only one that stood out fundamentally to him. Interesting. Yeah, SanDisk has been absolutely nuts. I'm so sad I didn't get more. I got one share. I was like, oh, I'll just put a taste in and see what happens. And okay, I guess I'm up $50 on a share or something. That's cool. Ooh, what else? Okay, we talked memory. That's good. We talked a little bit of drones. I want to talk space too. RDW. We still really like this one. I'm still in this one. I got in early at like 9, like 8:10 or something like that. 8:50 maybe. I don't know. I think I chased and I got a bad fill. And then I said, all right, I gotta lock in here. Where's the support? Support was at $7. And on the reclaim of 7, I got back involved. Then on this touch of 7, I got a little more involved. So I got a full position on this guy. Did my take profit fill? No, my take profit's going to fill when we sweep this up here at 1184. I did take a little bit off into 10 as well, just because it's a round number. But I like this 4 days of consolidation into and around the 10 level, and then a nice push up here. So I think I'll get filled on this pretty soon. Then the next fill will be up here at 1350 even, which will be on the gap fill. But long term, I think this one goes a lot higher. There's space infrastructure. And it's a really pretty chart, guys. I'm telling you, this is not one to sleep on. Once this goes and breaks through this, it's going to be explosive. So I think what it's going to do is it's going to pop up, sweep this one and fill the gap, tag this trend line here, then probably back test some moving averages. And that'll be the place where I am looking to add back all the trims that I took off for the big move. Because I do think this is going to be a 20, 25, 30, $40 stock in the next year or two. Call it 3 to 4 years. I don't care. Regardless, look at this volume. Look at this accumulation volume. This is such a beautiful chart to me. The more I look at it, the more I want to buy. So I did trim down to, I will be trimming down to half size when we pop this, but then I'll be adding back to full size if we get a move back to maybe the 10, where these moving averages come rise up and meet. Something like that. Hey, Trader Benny. Trader Benny did well on ASTS and Rocket Lab. However, not sure where Palantir is headed. Certainly getting whipsawed. Any ideas? Yeah, let's take a look at it. It's really interesting. Really interesting there. Let's see. And then we can talk about some of these other names for sure. So since you mentioned the other space names, we're talking about space here. Let's run through ASTS and Rocket Lab, and then we'll get to, we'll transition into the Palantir there. For similar-ish spaces in a sense that I kind of see Palantir moving a bit more with defense and drone names than like space per se. But there's definitely something there in terms of momentum and all that. So first off, ASTS, this is going to squeeze higher. This is absolutely insane. I mean, look at this insanity. So what did it do last time it did this kind of thing? It made a parabolic move from $25 to $60. Then it came back, retested the 50% of this move. I bet if we do this, 50% move. Oh, and look, tagged the 6.2 fib exactly, and that was the low. So beautiful move there. Then you smash through this flat top breakout and you get a double move. So we drag this up here and you see it's over double this move. So insane again. Now what do we see? We see a pullback all the way down. Where do you buy again, guys? The 6.2 fib. Just realize with this one Fibonacci pattern, if you were just laser drill focused on this one stock and you missed this 3x move, and you just said, hey, I'm going to wait till it hits the buy level. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to sell when it hits the extension level. I'm going to wait till it hits the buy level. I'm going to sell. You would have booked from 39 to, let's see where the move would be. If we put the fib here and you bought in at the 6.2 pullback, you'd be looking for a 161 to trim. Boom, you get it at 84. You're out of half of your position at 84 from 37. How long did it take you? A month. A month to over double your money. Beautiful. Then you get continuation all the way up to 98.78. You get the 200% full move into the 100. You sell the rest of your position. You are all out. You lock in basically 2x on half of it, basically 3x on the other half of it. Price within a month or two comes back to your level. Again, you get to buy off of 50. What a nice round number right into your support. And why are we buying there again? Well, I'll refresh your memory. So we have this range. Let's see. If you followed the 6.2 system and you just bought the second it hit in here, you would actually be in at 61 and get dragged a little. But if you wait for the bottom of that golden fib, golden pocket, that stop run fib at 78.6, that's the confluence with 50 even. Man, say you got half your position at 60, half your position at 50, cost base is 55. And where do you target? Well, obviously you've got to take some off at the all-time highs. But where might this go now if it follows the same pattern of coming back to the 6.2 and smashing through this? It would be a double through this previous range here, $158. And if we zoom out, does that look so unreasonable for a stock that's doing this? It's about to squeeze. That's what it sure looks like to me. It's like curling up, ready to go parabolic. Insane. So space is the place to be. I do firmly believe that. And Rocket Lab is actually leading ASTS now. See how it is up out of its highs? It's doing the same thing. It's doing the same thing, except for what has it done? It broke through the flat top highs, just like here. Broke through the flat top highs and immediate extension above it. So we draw our fib from the swing high to the swing low. And we see the 1.27 fib. That is where we are finding some resistance. So we got to see if the back test of 84 to 85 next week holds. If 84 to 85 holds, we trade this to 95 to 100. 95 to 110, really. That's the move here. And remember, big picture, these are ramping for parabolic moves. I mean, because if you just look at it right here, it looks parabolic. Same with ASTS back when it tripled, right? But if you zoom out like this is just curling up to go vertical. And then it'll be a long, long time of probably down to sideways as they cool off. But these look like they are not done to me. Alrighty, so we talked about space. Let's talk about your Palantir here if you're still with us, Trader Benny, and then we can move on down the list here. I can get to all your guys' tickers. So this is one that's tricky for me. We got a few conflicting narratives here. First off, Palantir in a pretty good space, right? They're in the spying on people and building data and working with governments and, I don't know, probably overthrowing foreign governments. Who knows what they actually do? Alex Karp is a character. Let's put it like that. That's a nice way to put it, right? I won't alienate half of my audience by just calling him a character, not a complete moron. Okay. So we have the parabolic crazy move. You know, whenever I say a chart is going parabolic out the right side, let's go to a monthly to show you what I'm talking about. Whenever I see a chart that has a parabolic move up the right side of the cup and just straight on through, we call that palantiring. It is an absolute insane move here. I mean, what can you say? Could you really be surprised if this needs a 50% haircut? I would not. Do I actually think it's happening? I don't know. We got to zoom in more to decide what's going on there. Just in terms of the length of the move, if it's done, then it can pull back a lot. And with that kind of move, it would take a pretty gnarly tumble. That being said, I'm not so sure that's what we're getting. Because let's remember, this was really poor structure when it was incredibly extended too. Not really poor, but it's weird structure, right? That looks like a blow off top at the very least when you're sitting right here at 82 after a move from 5, right? But then it sweeps it pulls the save stick and keeps on going parabolic. What we can really tell from this chart, this weekly chart, is that it needs follow through this yellow 21 if it's going to do anything, because it likes to look like it's going to puke the 21, then catch and go parabolic. Catch, go parabolic. Catch, are we going to go parabolic? I don't know. One thing that makes me think maybe we aren't, we have a little bit of a ugly pattern. What pattern is this? Who's that Pokemon, guys? Not all at once now. What I see here, the potential of a rolling, curling top, the potential of a head and shoulders, but also very possible that this is just forming a sloppy sideways consolidation. It's reaccumulating up here. Hence the big buyers and big sellers, because it's trading hands and we're deciding on fair value. And if the battle plays out and we decide, hey, this is fair value and we want to go higher, totally possible. You can't bank on a head and shoulders on a potentially continuous parabolic mover to play out, because even just normally head and shoulders have like a 55% win rate, 55 to 60% win rate. I believe it's 55 for head and shoulders, 60 for inverted head and shoulders. So it's kind of still a coin flip. And I think a lot of people are going to be looking at this and going, that looks ugly. The other side of it is that software as a service sucks. It's not a good place to be. Not a good place to be right now. I will talk about that in a second, Richard. That's a good point. So we have these dueling narratives. First, software as a service. Nobody wants to touch the darn stuff. I think everybody was vibe coding with Claude code over Christmas break, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, I can build all this cool stuff. Why in the world would I ever want to invest in a company like CRM, like Salesforce, or even like a high quality one like ServiceNow?" It's like, aren't these kind of just companies that made AI agents before they were widely released and accessible, and now they're trying to charge enterprises thousands of dollars a month for something that they could probably build in-house now? I think there's a lot of that kind of shifting narrative under the hood where a lot of these companies are not going to survive. That being said, Palantir is not one of those companies. Nobody's going out and homebrewing their own Palantir database. You know, this is one that is contingent on government cooperation to share their databases back and forth. It's contingent on, I don't know, an administration that views children like Karp favorably and keep giving him government contracts, stuff like that. I don't see them tied down to the same things that is pulling down names like I don't know, Duolingo or something, something like that. So, you also have the side that Richard is mentioning here. The funny thing about Palantir is that price hasn't actually outpaced earnings despite the insane multiple. I haven't done the numbers. I don't know if this is true. I probably believe him because Richard's a smart guy. But in general, this is not a shitco. This is not like because I remember the narrative. I'm sure some of the old heads. I'm sure Talk remembers when everybody thought Palantir was trash, just trash. It's going to trade from 10 to 15 forever until it goes to 5 and then 0. Well, people changed their mind when it started doing this. When it started surging, not from 10 to 20, but from 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. That's called narrative breaking. That's called the street was caught off guard. That's called everybody was caught off guard. This is a repricing happening before our eyes. We see the same thing when we look at charts like Micron. More importantly, charts like I think SanDisk is even more egregious. Yeah, this went from $40 to $400, guys. What's the deal? What's the deal with this memory? So, this is fundamental repricing. Palantir fundamental repricing. Virtually all of these moves that just power out the right side of a cup like that and just double, triple, quadruple, fundamental repricing. Yeah, Palantir has all our data. Do not I am on all of the lists for shitting on Carp. I don't know. I have a death wish. I just don't like the guy. Whatever. They're a very good company. They're a very good company that I'm not shorting. Is it time to long? It very well may be. But what I'd like to see is some sign that this isn't this head and shoulders that looks kind of sketchy, right? And if I don't get that, I just got to not buy in the middle of the range. They just got to give me a good look, and I will get involved. So here's our range. And we see the 50% fib, literally where we're trading today. If we lose today's low, then we lose the 50% fib. We probably need to mosey on down to the next one down, which I will show you. Slap it on the correct direction here. There we go. So 0.62 fib would be essentially a relative equal low with this flushy stick here at 167. Here's the thing. If we lose the 50, it makes complete sense to go into the golden pocket. The way that this lines up with the 6.2, if we lose this, I think we also lose this, and we puke down into this zone between 156 and 165. Personally, I'm not interested in it yet unless it can put a really strong buy stick, surge up through the past day or two's price action. It would be tagging this little gap, and then it would come down and catch the moving averages, and that might give me a look that I think is valid. So maybe we could entertain the possibility of a pennant filling out like this over the next few weeks as the drag on software as a service kind of punishes them unfairly, and then eventually they break out. So I'm not ready to short this. I'm not ready to long it. Definitely not calling it top. Also not saying it couldn't happen. So you get wishy-washy. You can't pin me down, Steve, on this name because it's a tricky chart. Yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. So I took my sweet time on this. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I will go back and start at the earlier ones and make sure I haven't missed anybody. So Datsun Drigo wants to talk about GE. We're going to do that real quick and keep on moving down the list. So GE, I mean, I like them all. GEV is the one I'm invested in just because I love the vertical integration of it's the best blue chip for energy for data centers for me, based on the decent little amount of research I've done, not massive research. I think overall they're just firing on all cylinders and they're going to keep on making new highs. I wouldn't short them. Looks like a breakout and a back test off moving averages. I still like this name. I still like the Big Daddy company here. I really like the GEV, even though it did just take a haircut. I got to see why this is because I don't know. I'm not familiar with this, with why this just happened the past 2 days. I've had some family stuff this week, so I have not been trading very actively. So I am a little bit out of the loop. Full disclosure here. I was surprised to see this when I pulled up the chart. That being said, if we can reclaim the 50, I will add. I have shares from just about here, so break even. I was getting involved in here. Took a little bit off here just because crazy move. Now we're back here. All right, I guess I'll buy back my short or the trims. Just while we're here, we should also look at GEHC. It's their healthcare spinoff. And that one's looking incredible, isn't it? Holy moly. So maybe instead of adding to GEV, I just build a little GE basket and get involved in the healthcare side too. Because, hey, I mean, clearly they're doing something right here. So, yeah, Talk's actually mentioning 10 minutes ago, but healthcare had an interesting pop. And yeah, talking about RVMD, we can talk about that story too. That's pretty crazy. RVMD, and there's one other one that's wild. Let me work my way down the list here. Okay, yeah, so we like GEV, we like GEHC, we like GE, like them all. Curious about what Talon did, because that's relatively similar to, relatively similar to GEV, and it is also head bonking here. So I gotta keep an eye on this because I'm not really sure why it would reach back this far. To me, when it was breaking out here, it had already kind of done the structure it needed, but maybe this is the higher low it needs off of this, and we can consider this like an inverted head and shoulders bottom here off the previous range, just really confirming. Either way, it really shouldn't lose this swing low here. So I am in this one a small amount. I will probably have to stop out if it loses 350 on a daily close. And I'll have to reassess. There is regulatory risk on these guys. I forget all the details, but my go-to fundamentals trader who loves this name said, yes, I love it. I'm also saving a lot of dry powder in case it drops 10 to 20% and I get to buy it way cheaper. But, he's a boring value investor, so it's not a, grain of salt there, grain of salt. All right, so going on down the list here, guys. Talk mentioning an interesting setup, short KKR and BX, long MBS, mortgage-backed securities, FNMA, and FMCC, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. And this is because Donnie wants private equity to not buy all the single-family homes. Interesting. So you think Trump is a man of the people. So here's the thing. I'm being facetious. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to kind of process this real time. So what was the last thing he said about mortgages or not about mortgages, about home prices? He said something along the lines of, well, it's tough because a lot of people can't afford houses, but a lot of people have a lot of equity in their houses. And what I heard the takeaway was, yeah, it sucks that housing is expensive, but I'm not going to nuke my voting base's, net worth, hit them where it really hurts. Because how I looked at it was the cohort who owns houses tends to be older, tends to vote conservative. The cohort that doesn't own houses tends to be nihilistic and young, and they don't vote at all, definitely aren't voting for Trump in mass, at least. So I don't know. I think I'm probably just over politicizing something that is going to come down to more headlines, but this is an interesting setup that I'm not really sure how to parse. But let's look at the charts and see if that can tell us anything. Because when in doubt, we look at the data. So you're telling me short this, which looks phenomenal to me, to be honest. I'm seeing compression in the handle of a cup and handle. You're saying short this, or am I misreading you? You are saying short KKR. I don't even know what this is. Oh, KKR is KKR and Company. That's going to help me. A lot of deductive reasoning I can do based on that. Okay. I'm assuming it's definitely something to do with MBSs. Let's see. Let me scroll down and actually read what Talk's replying with. Okay, if FMCC and FMNA has invested $20 billion and he's going to inject $200 billion, that's 10 times Steve. It is Talk. I might be dumb, but I can do those numbers. Okay, in short, BX. Oh, that's Blackstone. Okay, so they have a lot of home ownership. That makes sense. KKR, I figure, does the same. All right. I gotta say, this chart looks so darn good to me, though. Talk. This might be the first time I actually fade one of your ideas. Not because I think it's wrong, but just because I can't fade this chart. So maybe that'll be a fun little duel we have. All right. So we checked out KKR. I think this looks really good, to be honest. Let's look at BX though. Blackstone. If you're building a portfolio of the most evil companies out there, the ones that are buying up all of the single family housing, I don't know, probably high up on the list there with Nestle and let's see, who else is commodifying the things we need to live? Those guys, not my favorite people, but hey, you know what? Probably good investments. Probably good investments. We're here to make money after all. So Talk's saying fade these. I hope he's right because that'd be really fun. I'm not sure. To me, this looks really constructive. It looks like a kind of Darvis box set up here with a fake breakout, fake breakdown. Yeehaw one side, yeehaw the other side. Now, to me, it looks like a cup and complex handle, but a handle nonetheless. I would be inclined to say this thing wants to retest the 50% of this range if it hasn't already. Did that get the tag? Okay, it did get the tag. So kind of mission accomplished here. Now we flip this fib and we want to see what it did when we got to the golden pocket, the 0.62 fib. So 0.62 fib, okay, that was the level we were trying to break out from. We sweep down just to the 0.78, sweep out the stops under there, and now we're trying to push up. We are over that 6.2. Tuck, you may be right. I just don't see it playing out quite yet. But I am going to keep an eye on these because I would love it if this narrative does work out. Because, hey, man, I don't own a home. I'd like to own a home someday. That'd be nice. Not going to hold my breath, but that'd be nice. Yeah, it's really interesting. A really interesting setup, though. So I'm going to keep on powering through because I saw some other good shout outs here that I want to talk about. Loving all the activity in the chat, guys. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. All right. HMOs kind of popping. So the Cignas, the CI. Interesting. So these are looking really constructive with a big old gap overhead too, right? And this is like a very appealing entry. We're at the bottom of a little compression, a little 4-day back and forth barcode. This bottom of the range, it's aligning with the top of this previous push up into this gap. We have our moving averages all curling up nice and supportively, about to cross over. And we have this nice volume shelf building out right here at the 280. I got to say, I like this. I like this chart. I like CI. I think that this one, you buy some shares, not financial advice. I buy some shares and I take it up to 300 to the gap fill, 295, 300. Seems like a relatively safe risk here because you can just put your risk, you can define your risk under 273, under this big shelf here, 275 you could. Daily close under there, I don't want it anymore. And I think it's a decent chance that you get the move up. So we got that guy. What are the tickers? Humana H. I don't even know that ticker. I forget. I know UNH. We'll start there. HUM. That's Humana, right? Okay. This looks really nice to me. A lot more constructive. It doesn't have that cheesy gap, where you can get the just surge up into low volume. But this one looks like a stock that I'd feel better actually longing for a long time. Throw this in your evil companies port. They make some good money denying claims to old people and me for my chronic illness. So gotta love them. I'm long UNH because they screw me over every month, and that's probably a good business screwing me over. So sorry guys, I'm a little sassy today apparently. So bear with me here. What else we got? I feel like we're just running down all of the all of the companies that I have bones to pick with, which is fine. That's good. Novo Nordisk broke the 200 this week. That's cool. Let's check that out. I got one friend who's obsessed with this. Shout out Dr. Pepper Lover. He's been hyper focused to this chart since the lows, and he's traded it really darn well. So he's happy as I don't know. He's happy as something, all right. We got the mitigation block. So for me, this trade's over for now because we tagged this and we showed a topping wick. So this could do a number of things, but what I'd like to see it do is come back down to this high volume shelf at 52. Crush my friend Dr. Pepper apparently, and then we can go higher. He's a trooper. He can stand through that. He can hold through it. All right, guys. Sorry, I know I'm behind schedule here. I'm hitting these tickers that you're mentioning 10 minutes ago, guys. I'll speed up. I'll speed up. I promise. Really quick, Tyler wants service now. INOD, UCTT, and AVAV. We're gonna speed run these guys. And if you want more information, just give me a ping on my Discord. I'm more than happy to give you full charts and all that good stuff. Service now, can't touch it. People were asking me if I wanted to buy in here. I said no. Do I want to buy here? No. No touching. Sorry, got to keep it quick if it looks that bad. Um, Once it stops looking that bad, I will take more time with it and we'll look at actual levels to buy the dip. AVAV, absolutely great. I love this one. This is a blue chip in the drone space. Drones go up, AVAV goes up, buy AVAV in Minecraft, not financial advice. What else? We have UCTT, UCTT. This is a fun one. I actually know what this is. They do their semiconductors in the testing and cleaning space. I don't know what that means. Packaging and testing, probably. I've heard them compared to AEHR, who does like little easy bake ovens for wafers. That's the best way I can put it. Basically, they heat test the wafers in batches so that you don't have to throw away the whole batch, basically. Something like that. I don't know. Can you tell I'm actually dumb? What I do know is that this chart looks incredible. We were talking about it in, Jay, shout out Jay Arlington. He brought this up first in his Discord. He was buying it down here. I got a couple buddies in my Discord that were buying here. I passed on this one. Looks incredible. Did the thing. They're also big in air. I also passed on this one. I'm also crying about that. Um, Wow, what a crazy dip today. Oh man, I wish I was. They must have had earnings. So they dipped horrendously to 21. Shout out Jay Arlington for closing his covered calls down there, and then boom, up 16%. Very nice trade on his part. So this one's still looking incredible. We got the W here. I know nobody asked me about this one, but you're getting it anyway. Put air on your focus list for next week. If it breaks this, it should surge up into filling this imbalance at 30. Definitely keep that one on your list. INOD is the last one Tyler's looking for. Let's check it out. And guys, keep on dropping those tickers. We're going to keep on powering through. I will stay here till there are no more tickers to look at. You got my word. Inno data. We got the pushback. We got the massive swing up. We got the higher low. I think it looks constructive. This is a daily chart here, remember? So we need to give it a little more time for these moving averages to catch up. On the weekly, we probably want to see a little more constructivity to the second part. But hey, actually, I don't know. It's looking really good. It looks like it wants to go higher. I don't know what the heck they do. But here are the levels to watch. You've got the confluence of three moving averages all coalescing between 57.50 and 60. So 60 should be soft top support. And by that, I mean, if we dip back into 50, maybe it doesn't catch right off the rip, but it should catch somewhere within that $2 zone right there. If it doesn't, get the heck out. You got gaps underneath. It can fall way down. If it does hold there, it should be a tight flag here. In particular, the 62 handle to 60, that's the zone that I'd like to see hold. Like that. Oh, and actually that's the biggest volume node right there. So yeah, 59 to 62, that's your kind of area of interest. As it flags out here, as it should trade sideways, the moving averages should catch up. Once the moving averages catch up, it should catch a bid off of those to extend higher. Next area of interest is going to be 70 is the easy answer, but usually you want to use fibs for these to find your angles or your entries, exits. So bada bing, bada boom, we give it one of these. And you see, guys, you got to have fibs on your charts. See it consolidating at the 50? That's very purposeful. It's very key. So we want to see beach ball under the water price action every time it's under the 50 because we are in the exact middle of the range. Yes, the chart looks constructive. Our other biases are saying directional bias up, but at the end of the day, we're in the middle of the range and it should act right. It should act like it wants to be bought when it's dipping under there. Okay, we got those down. Okay. Diva Caking Queen. Caking Diva Caking Queen. That's a fun name. Have I looked at BE or NBIS? Yes, I've looked at both of them. I'm in BE. Wish I was in more. So we took our starter too early. We took it at 100 essentially. On one of these days here, we took it at 100. I did not sell any when it popped to 120 because I thought that we were getting a really strong, much stronger move. I didn't sell though. Stop was oh yeah, close under here, and man, it didn't give me much wiggle room there, but it did hold. I sure wish I just added as soon as it popped up from there, but that would have been real scary. I also wish I added at the close on this day when it was very strong. I also wish I added somewhere in this flag because it looked constructive there. That being said, I also wish I added here, 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 and here. I did not. I only have a third of the position I'd like. Kind of sad about it. If it comes back down to this gap and these moving averages, I will add. Otherwise, I just hang out in this one because this one is going up. It's like that K-pop Demon Hunters song. Gonna do one of those. Gonna be $200 stock next year. That's what I think. So love this one. Really do love it. BE, very cool. You also have some others in the kind of general space. Actually, they're kind of their own thing, I think. I do like, in a little bit tangentially, I do like battery storage here. We were trading EOSE this week. Fluence here looking incredible, building out a pennant here. This is on the focus list for next week too. It should follow BE, even though they do slightly different things. I believe BE is involved in storage, energy storage, as well as production. I should really look into that more. Either way, Fluence here. I really like this peekaboo. This is such a beautiful chart to me on the daily. And if we zoom back, it just gets more appealing. So this is the whole price history. And what is it doing, guys? Sure looks like this is a double bottom in a downtrend line. And it's consolidating the neckline and pushing up out of it. And like I said, on the daily here, we've got a little peekaboo pennant break. And this was a really nice place right into these moving averages. We are in this guy from 22, I believe. We had a starter at 22. I should have added at 20. I don't remember if I did or not. I got to go check my my spreadsheet. I definitely said it looks good, but I think it was one of those that I said it looks good and I didn't buy. That has happened a lot in the past couple weeks. Looking at NBIS, I like the company from a fundamental perspective. I think that it could keep getting punished. I like two names more than them in the space, and one of them is the real standout. So I'm just going to talk about that in the interest of time, and that's APLD, Applied Blockchain. These guys are my choice. This is the only Bitcoin miner that I have any stake in now. We mentioned it a few days ago that we thought it was breaking out on this day. I bought in this day at just under 30, somewhere in like 29 something, 29.50 on one of these days. And the idea was pretty simple, is that, hey, this is consolidating. It's, lower highs, higher lows, lower high, higher low. And then we broke all the moving averages that were flattening out. So real no brainer to keep it on your watch list after this day. When it came down, tapped the high of the day, I didn't get right in there, but it started to push up and I said, okay, I want a nibble. I want a piece. Now we have the massive volume following through after earnings. This is a very strong company fundamentally. I know it sounds crazy out of the Bitcoin miners. I couldn't even tell you exactly why right now. It's been a long week and I'm not a fundamentals trader anyway. But Repos on Twitter is very, very smart. He has a great history of bangers. He broke down the fundamentals case very well. I won't try to butcher his case. Go check that out. REPOS. And then some numbers, I forget. He has a little bear riding a motorcycle on his profile pic. Anyways, APLD, very nice. I like this one a lot. You love this volume pop here. And these guys are pretty well positioned, I think, to do well, even if the sector as a whole kind of lags some of the other momentum. That being said, if we look at WGMI, which is the index of all of these Bitcoin miners, this doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look terrible. This is another one to focus on. We maybe a few more days because this was like a false break here, but I think this one's getting close, and probably that means that Bitcoin is carving out a bottom too. I haven't been watching very closely, but yeah, we can watch Bitcoin as well. Trying to reclaim these moving averages could very well ping pong a little bit more between this falling 50 before breaking higher, but I still think that Bitcoin needs to go up to 100,000 before it decides what it's doing. Personally, I'm partial to shorting the heck out of it there, but I got to see that play out first. Okay, guys, thanks for bearing with me. I say I'll go quick and then I just tangent on charts that you guys don't even care about. So Tyler Smith, VST, and ETN. We're gonna Not lightning round, because that's probably copyrighted. Shout out Jim Cramer. How about thunder round? We're going to thunder round these. VST, Vistra Corp. What do we got? We got a big flush out here through the moving averages, and then a oops reversal candle here, and then a kicker candle today, opening at the highs over the 50, closing kind of in no man's land. Let's watch next week. This is an interesting one to watch off of 164 to 161. These two moving averages should provide support if it's turning a corner. I think it's possible it is, because these are all bottoming tail wicks for the past like month or so. And there were big buyers, but then sellers just kept filtering in. This is a big flush, and then they just got backed off, those shorts. They're trying to bat it down again, but I would bet that they step out if they get a 50% pullback, right about 162. So that's the area I'm looking for, 162. If it can find a buyer, I think last time I checked, these guys were very quality. So it's interesting seeing them pull back, and we really need to look at a higher time frame chart. And then we're going to move on because this isn't very thundery. Okay, yeah, it's trading into the previous range. I think this is still bullish. The last thing I'll do before I move on, slap a fib on the big range. What do we see? Actually, let's go in this direction. To this range, we held the 50. Full range, held the 62. See, guys, that's not a coincidence. These line up so precisely. So precisely, so precisely. Use fibs, I'm telling you. All right, moving on from VST. ETN. Talk said he was trimming his ETN, and understandable. I think what it's doing is something similar. Yep. One of these days, I'll draw it the right direction the first try. You guys do that? Like, I know my left from my rights, but sometimes when there's a binary choice like that, even when I know which is the right one, my brain will do the opposite. I have a friend who lives at 302, and every time I ring his apartment door, I do 301, and I always have like an existential crisis walking up, like, is it 302, 301, 302? All right. Anyways, I'm a little tired today, guys. 50% test right here. Ding, ding. Two really, really clean transactions there. If it holds, game's back onto the upside. More likely with this heaviness, especially on the weekly, looking kind of heavy, I think it probably wants to renegotiate this 6.2 fib. And the other bit of confluence there, as you can see, if we drag it out just a little bit like that, see this line kind of acting as the neckline for this big V-shaped plunge out and reclaim. So definitely something going on there too, I think. That's the area of interest. Moving on. Get back to a daily chart, and let's see. Let's see. Sorry, guys, catching up here. Michael P. Mike the Rider. What's up, brother? Good to see you in here. I hope you're still here. Just saw you popping in 15 minutes ago. That's how fast the chat's moving. Nobody can tell that I don't know what I'm talking about. All right. moving on. Yeah, happy day 6 of the 2026 trading season. Happy new all-time highs to all who celebrate. Hopefully it's most of us in here. If you're a bear in here, I still love you. Don't worry. Okay, what are we looking at now? Trader Benny's been watching NBIS and IREN. Thoughts on swing longs? I liked IREN off of 40. I grabbed a tiny position, and I think it auto-filled at 45. Maybe it didn't. Oh, wow, it almost popped to 50. So sometimes I'll just take trades that, like, I don't love this company. I just think it came to a good level. Somebody showed me the chart. Sure, I'll buy some shares at a key level, and I'll put an automatic sell and an automatic stop loss. And then usually I just look back and they fill one side or the other, more often in my favor, because I'm not too attached to it, right? So I bought in at 40 when it was on this candle too. I remembered thinking like, hey, this is looking like a higher lows forming based on this doji right there on high volume. The doji was, so I liked that. And then essentially the second it broke the neckline of there, I said, hey, I want some. So I chased just about right at 40 because it was on my radar. And I put the order in to sell at 145. And I guess the next day it filled right at the open, and I could have got another $5 out of it. But hey, in terms of whether I like it here, yeah, it looks fine. Looks like a little false start here, and I think it probably wants another week or two to develop. So I don't feel like you should have to rush into this unless it just surges out the top. And then I probably wouldn't chase it either. So I'd say pick your spot somewhere between 42.50. That's the okay. This is actually a really good little teachable thing here. So I got to figure out next week how to change the colors on this. But can you guys see this blue here? This dark blue? Essentially, there's one, I'm going to mark it out here to make it clearer. There's one big node right there. Then we've got a decent node here. Decent node there. And then it's kind of hollow in between. So what I would like to see, and you can also see this is hollow on the actual chart too. We call this an imbalance where the body of the candle doesn't really connect and it's just kind of empty space. Sure, there's a wick. It's not a complete gap, but it's not a very solid space like up here where it's back and forth, a lot of volume traded through at the level. Here, very little volume traded through this zone. So it can be knifed through very quickly back to the bigger support here where traded. So what I would love to see is one of these empty spaces renegotiate. So come back down here, right to these moving averages, right to this gap, and then catch and go. So definitely look in that 42.50 to 43.50-ish area, I'd say. 42.50 to 44 maybe. And if it can hold there, find buyers and turn the corner off of the daily moving averages, then you can entertain a push up and on outwards into blue skies. I do think the narrative is not over for these. I do think this is a constructive long-term chart. I just don't know if it needs to go straight up like this or if it needs to come back down and chop and then go in another month or two or three. Kind of my thoughts on those guys. Barney asking, would I buy into the Intel hype? I would if I wasn't long from 25. I wouldn't. I wouldn't buy it here. I think it works, but the risk reward isn't very good. It's either making an incredible continuation breakout through like a rising wedge here, which is what I think it is doing. Do I really want to buy something up here though? Pay these super high premiums at 52-week highs? They're probably going higher. Shares are probably okay, but we got in here, so I'm down to 1/4 of the position. Maybe I should add it back, but I'm not gonna. I got a lot of other semi plays that I like a lot more. That being said, this is the thesis that we talked about from here, guys. I would not shut the heck up about it in September that, Trump took a 10% stake. Why is this thing trading at the same level as when he took the 10% stake? This is the fattest pitch in the market. Weeklies were 20 bags, baby. And we hold the shares. Best trade of 2025. So whenever you see the fat pitch, super consolidation, you've got the narrative lined up, and everybody on your timeline freaking hates the name. I mean, you guys are only familiar with the Intel sentiment up here. It was not so hot down here. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Intel. Sorry to use your question to take a victory lap, but no, I'm not that sorry because that was a great trade. All right. Joe saying small caps chopped him up today. Sorry, Joe. Let's take a look at OPAD really quick. What a wild kicker candle there. We're going to go intraday for this guy. Because we all know we ain't investing in OPAD. I don't know. Maybe you are. This looks hellish. I don't know. What would I have done here? I would have been a genius and shorted the exact top. I don't know. That's tough. I don't even know what side of the trade you're on, and I could easily see both sides getting kind of screwed on this. Let's see. He said he's break even, nice long on the break of the downward trend at 125 to 135. Oh, I'm dumb. You're talking about BE, the ticker, not break even. Yes. I was like, 135? Must have missed this one. All right, guys. We're going to keep on cooking. Okay. Oh, Joe, that's a nice guitar. Zach Wild, Bullet Issue Epiphone. You got the circles on it too, right? That's rad. Classic design. All right, what else? What else is cooking here? Wait, Talk's a musician too. Do we just all play music in here? Do we need to have like a trade the pool jam sesh? What kind of music do you guys play? That's what I want to know. I bet Talk. All right, I'm gonna musically profile Talk. I bet Talk is a big deadhead. I bet he loves playing like Fish jam bands, just like 20-minute sessions, maybe with some herbal supplements. I don't know. I'm not judging. We're not here to judge. We all know Mike plays some surf rock, some some of that good stuff. Music and math are the only true arts. Ooh, hot take that I kind of agree with. They're my favorite, at least. I love that. That's very quadrivium of you. That's very like Plato or Socrates of you. I like that. All right, 10 minutes back, guys. We're catching up. I'm slowly catching up. Trader Benny wants CRDO, the Purple Cable Company. Who can talk purple cables? Give me a CRDO. So this is another one that's just going to be tough. I don't. This kind of reminds me of Intel, doesn't it? Didn't I just draw this kind of pattern on Intel, and we were up here with Intel at 45, and then it failed the breakout and clobbered somebody. This one clobbered my friend Callie Otter. Hope you're not listening, but but you're resilient. You'll be fine. But yeah, buying a breakout trade up here, very risky. So that's why I would say, do I think Intel goes up? Yeah, probably. I thought this was going to go up too when it was trading this high, but then it didn't. So the risk reward wasn't there. So despite thinking, hey, probably bullish, I didn't buy this. Despite thinking Intel probably bullish, I'm not going to buy it. Down at the bottom of the range here, though, now I'm interested because what are we doing? The same thing, but now risk reward's a lot better, right? I'm bullish on this narrative. I like cables. I like the color purple. So for anybody who doesn't know, these guys do a lot of the connections, a lot of the high quality fiber optic cabling that connects all of these GPU clusters in a data center. So they are one of the less sexy ways to play AI, but very integral as we go forward and as things get more and more complex. These massive GPU clusters get bigger and bigger. NVIDIA just announced, what was it? The Rubin, which just makes me hungry for a good Cat's Deli sandwich. But the Rubin there, that's like 72, 74 GPUs all clustered together. That's the future. That's why the memory all broke out, by the way. And I think that should be good for these guys too, right? So I think it's an expanding pattern. I think it's bullish, and I think it's in the right area. I think it's probably a buy. Not extended off these moving averages. Thanks for putting this on my radar, Benny. Appreciate that. Stopped watching for a while. Okay, what else do we got? All right. Got to give Joe his flowers. What do you get when you cross a jazz musician with a stock trader? Someone who always plays the market by ear. All right. You get the golf clap, Joe. I respect the work. Okay, what else? I'm sorry, guys. I'm on like a 10-minute delay here. I'm catching up here, though. So, talk mentioning the play last January was MP, REMX, and UAMY. You like the commodities and rare earths again? Yeah, me too. CRML, that's another one. So what am I in? I'm in UUUU because I like uranium as well. So I little double whammy. I think it would probably was smarter to get just the pure plays. I called out to my Discord MP off the 200 day, literally bottom taking at 50. Did I buy? No. I feel silly, especially looking at it here. Yeah, I feel silly. The other one that I really like here, you might like this one talk as well. MET-C. So this is kind of a dual play. They have coal exposure as well, which I'm also very bullish on. So at MET-C, I like this. Getting tight. BTU, another very interesting name in the met coal space. I don't think they're just metallurgical coal, but just about. Oh, look at them breaking out today. Beautiful. Beautiful. Very nice there. So we still like coal. This one I'm in from a little under 30. Yeah, that one's working nicely. Good stuff. Okay, OKLO has a deal with Meta. Yeah, I heard rumblings of that. I didn't check in with the ticker. And yeah, this was kind of the gist of what happened with the uranium trades. And I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts on this. To me, kind of sketchy. Big kicker candle after a big gap up. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a back test and go. Maybe we have hit our requirements with sweeping this high and now we need to come back deeper. Not really sure, to be honest. What I do know is, again, OKLO, we mentioned the 200-day crime tap. It was literally the bottom tick. I don't think it actually transacted, but it was within a few cents. And everybody front ran the 200-day moving average. Wish you could see it on here. Actually, I'll change. Can I add one? All right, we're going to add a 200-minute moving average. Where is it? Okay, it's a mystery, guys. You'll have to believe me. There's a 200-day moving average floating right about 71 bucks. So always good to have on your charts, because when those transact on a big high flyer that comes back to it, almost always you get a nice 10, 20, 30% move off the rip. This was a darn near 40% move already. Pretty crazy. Oh boy. No FOMO here. No FOMO here. All right, only 5 minutes back now. All right, classical guitar and piano and blues. That's what Talk plays. Very cool. Wow. Okay. Brooklyn Conservatory. Color me impressed. I've always wanted to learn classical guitar. It's so beautiful, but it's that and jazz are the two that like kind of break my brain. Like classical, I can wrap my head around the arrangements, but it's just I grew up on playing an electric guitar, so an acoustic, let alone a classical neck. It's a little bit of a stretch. Um, and then jazz just breaks my brain because it has to switch scales every 5 seconds. But man, do I love some classical. All right, Benny playing the classic rock on the Firebird. Hell yeah. Good stuff. All right, Mass is asking about Bull. Let's check out Bull. Bull is on some Bull. It's not acting very good. But honestly, this is the first time I've looked in a couple weeks. It's promising. Could consider this a higher low. This is a place where you could take a shot with a tight stop on a close under 8 or so. Do I love it? Not really. And this looks fine. It looks fine. It's just a lot of things look good, and this looks fine. Someday it'll be great. You can buy this and not worry about it for a couple of years, and then look in your port and you'll be happy. Like 90% likelihood. If you're watching every week, this might wear you out, might scare you out, but it definitely won't be an easy trade, I don't believe. Okay. Talk. It's actually funny. I was just watching. So my YouTube algorithm's cooked. This week, apparently, it thinks that I'm obsessed with DJ transitions. Which, yeah, they're cool. I clicked on a few, I guess. There was one where the DJ had a circle of fist tatted on his hand, and he was using that to like match the tracks and stuff. I was like, what? That's next level. So maybe I need to get the circle of fists tat. I don't know how well I can use that while I play, but oh man. Yeah, West Montgomery, absolutely insane. I'm not familiar with a few of these. I know Stern, but I got some homework from Joe. I'm here for it. Okay, guys, I've officially caught up with the comments. We are an hour and 15 in. I am severely dehydrated. I'm gonna go grab water. Anybody else still in here? Any other tickers you want to talk about? Throw them in chat. Get them on in. Next 5 minutes, a little grace period, then we'll tackle those, and then I'm gonna start my weekend. I'll let you guys out a little early. Not even early. We got it over an hour in the books here. So I'll be right back. Get those tickers in. Whew. All right, guys. RR, RCAT, EOSC. Yeah, get them in, guys. Come on, come on, come on. While I pry open my nicotine pouches. Who is Crow in here? He would be proud of me. I quit vaping. So that's another reason why I'm cranky. All right. Can I look at Joby? Absolutely, Adhara. Good to have you in here. Good to have y'all in here. All right, let's go. Zeta, that's a fun one too. Absolutely, we can talk about all these. 3 milligrams of my. I'm a cinnamon guy here. Oh, sorry for the free advertising there. It could be any brand. You don't know. I'm a cinnamon guy. I like peppermint too, but we'll see how long it lasts. Feeling okay for now. So let's start tackling these. CRML, please. Absolutely. Let's go top down though. So we are going to start with Joby, and we'll speed run these guys for you. So Joby in the drone space, previously considered the highest quality until my boy ONDS starting to make moves. UMAC also been making gains in the legitimacy department from what I've understood, which is little. So we got a few downtrend lines of interest. Here's a nice clean one. So I do two types of downtrend lines. I do the really just point to point, all the wicks included. Then I'll also do ones that just kind of more capture the spirit of it, right? You know, see what I'm kind of saying? Like, so this one's more about where the most points touch. I don't really care if there's overshoot, but then I also like to have the really surgical one too. Either way, they both coincide right here for a breakout. Now we're seeing a back test and consolidation here. I like Joby. While we're looking at Joby, we got to look at Archer. Basically the same chart. This one's also looking very constructive. So we're seeing differentiation in the drone space. We had the leaders ONDS and UMAC pushing out, and AVAV, ONDS, AVAV, and UMAC, I believe, were the three leaders. They've all pushed well out of their base. Meanwhile, you have the laggards in. Wait, RCAT also, I believe, has been, yeah, it's nice and extended too. They're doing just fine. You have the laggards in Joby and Archer. They've been consolidating while the others have been expanding. So, question is, do they all go down now? Or are they able to go up in a kind of basket where we had the big expansion on the other ones while these ones trade sideways, then these expand up while the others trade sideways? That's what I'd like to see. That's what I'm going to be looking for. If so, we can watch Joby and Archer for short-term catch-up trades. One way you could do this, if you missed the ONDS, the UMAX, the AVAVs, the high-quality ones, you can get it. You can hitch a ride on some of these laggards that might catch up. Then you can take the money on the quick pop and invest them back into the other guys. That's kind of what I'd like to do because I've taken my money on ONDS, but I want to keep the theme alive. I'm seeing these charts setting up on Archer here. And look at this volume shelf. Big old volume shelf. And we have the W pattern, the nice base, the moving averages curling out, sweeping under. I really like the setup. It's quite similar to here, right? We have the cup. There's the cup. Then this one's actually taken a longer time to base out. This one is pretty quick, but these moving averages rolled up, crossed over, expand. Rolled up, crossed over there. Ideally, they expand. So we like these. I'm not sure if I like Joby or Archer more. They both look quite tight. Probably Joby a little more. Okay, EOSC, we were trading this one last week, or this week actually. We traded this one, and it was quite successful on this breakout here. So to me, this looks like a peekaboo. Yep. So broke out, back test pushing up. We have the same moving averages curling over, and we have the same big falling pennant. This is one of those charts that the more you zoom out, the more bullish it looks. Looking like a Palantir to me. This is just the price data we have access to. There is more. I forget actually what it did. I think it was a $25 stock at some point. So there's like liquidity draws up much higher as well. But what I see is that this was the area of interest here. This was like the beginning of 2022. Back testing multiple times and pushing higher. I think this one keeps going. In the same space, we have NRGV, and all of these are battery storage companies. Energy storage, battery, whatever the heck. They basically the idea is as we build out data centers, as we build out our electricity grid, our infrastructure, we are going to have more and more of a need to basically store the excess that we produce and keep it stored for when we need it. Because the more we rely on this, the more important it is to have backups. That's the basic thesis. You have NRGV. We're going to zoom into a daily for this to show the strength. Really clean breakout and back test. This is on the focus list. You can buy this right here with a stop on a close under the 21 here, or if you're a little bit, smaller position sizing, you want to give it a wider leash, put the stop under this range here at 440. Very, very likely that this keeps on going up. We talked EOSC, we talked NRGV. There are more FLNC. We talked that one already. I'll just bring it up real quick to show you. It's on the focus list. It's doing the same kind of thing. Beautiful names there. And I'm missing one too. If somebody wants to fill me in, if they remember what I'm forgetting, there's one more. EOSC, FLNC. Oh, QS. I believe they're batteries, right? Oh, it's like shit. Sorry, that looks bad. Maybe not this one. I don't know what's going on there. ENVX. This is a lower quality company, as you can tell by the chart. If this theme breaks out next week, this one will go with it. It can squeeze to $11 easy. This is one that me and the OGs in my community have been playing for years and years because it's just so much fun. You just buy around 7 to 9, 7 to 8. Then in a few months, you sell around 15 to 17. And it probably does this until the heat death of the universe. So this is one of those stocks that I looked at and I was like, oh, this is how people trade for a living. Oh, this is one giant casino. Oh, the money's just moving in a circle. I could just sit here watching the Innovix chart every day and just make 20% on my account. Short it 10%, make 10%, make 10%, make 20%, make 10%. Like you could trade one stock. If you're able to recognize a pattern that the market has locked a stock into, you got to acknowledge that the whole market's just like, all right, this is in a holding pattern. There's not going to be a catalyst coming up that's going to break it out of this major range. It's not going to go to zero. We can just easily box trade this for a decade and just make money. And really what they're doing is they're trading around a core position and they're mostly selling options and just accumulating premium on shares that are just trading sideways forever. Okay, how's that for a speed run? I think I got through one ticker. We're going to keep going here. We talked EOSC. Let's talk about RR here. We're getting on into RR Robotics, rich tech here. I actually don't know what they do specifically. I think they're kind of low quality. That being said, it's a really nice chart, and I really like the sector. So let's go over the other robotics really quick. High quality, we have VPG, Vishay, Precision Group. These guys do all of the custom sensors, and they're starting to break out. This is a high quality that you buy and don't worry about. In my book, this goes much higher. If you want a picks and shovels robotics play, these are your guys in my book. We have these guys. If you want more speculative, you have the rich tech there. I like Rivian. I don't think it's a car company anymore. I mean, yeah, it is. It's a car company. So is Tesla, I guess, whatever. I think it's a robotics narrative play. I think that long term this goes up. And I just bought back in today. So I sold at 22. I bought in this week, I should say. I've been buying into this 21 day. Looked a lot better a couple days ago when it was trading up here. It still's kind of holding. I'm still in it. If it comes to the 50 day, I'll buy more, to be honest. I got a problem. I like this stock. What else in the robotics sector? You know what? I forget. So I'm going to pitch my book here. Go to my Twitter at Steve Tileman. You can find, I think my most recent tweet was probably when I dropped my 2026 year picks, and I have a whole section on robotics. So definitely check those out. Also, head on to that bio. There's my trading server there, completely free to join. We got really good traders in there. And whenever I pitch my own service, I got to say, Traded the Pool has an amazing Discord server too. I hang out in there a lot too. Really good traders in there as well. So free alpha on both sides. Definitely don't miss out there. Going on down the list here, we talked RR. Let's talk RCAT here. I think I just very quickly went over it. Let's give you a little bit more. It's looking really good, but it's got to bonk its head here and it's got to come back. I want to see what it does at 10 to 1070. That's the zone of interest. I would love an undercut of this high volume level at 1067. As long as it trades over 9, I'm in. Well, I'm not in. I like the stock, I should say. I'm not in this one. As long as it trades over 9, I believe it's a buy. I think that it could trade sideways for a while between 9 and 10. Ideally, it dips under this big volume shelf at 1070, tags or goes slightly under 10 and then catches really nicely, reclaims the volume shelf, get back in there and push on up. So that is what I'm thinking on RCAT. Zeta. These guys had, wow, they had news and they just kept going. All right, I cry. I missed this one. I was looking at it at here, coiling under 20, and I took it off my radar when it got flushed out. I should have been looking to accumulate somewhere in here. And if we zoom in, actually, this pattern right in here, kind of looking like Rivian to me, where it's kind of just giving you, like, I think it's buying into this 21, but it's a little unsure in this range, and it flushes out, but then it closes pretty strong. So I'm kind of hoping Rivian does the same thing. We'll see. It's a really nice chart. I shouldn't take it off my focus list. I probably will, because this one kind of tilts me a little bit. Especially because here's the thing. We're trading right into the 50. I can't buy it in the middle of the range. If it starts basing out really nicely here, which it did for 3 days, so I just kind of missed it twice. You know, for me, if I miss it twice, I probably should stop looking at it because it makes me want to chase it. Let's see, going on down. How about DE? Strange jump in reverse. DE, so they are a robotics play. I don't know if that's why you were mentioning them, Trader Benny, but if so, good call. What are they doing? I don't know. I think they're going up, but here's the thing. They definitely look like they're going up. That's a really nice action. Okay, so I like Deere, like John Deere. Throw this into your evil companies port. They love screwing farmers out of the ability to fix their own tractors. You know those small farmers. Those they're just making so much money. Those small farmers. We got to punish them. Sorry, I feel some type of way about this because I have family who runs a small family farm. I've worked for a small family farm. It sucks when your tractor breaks and they want you to pay $1 billion to fix it yourself when you could just download a new software package or whatever and fix the thing yourself. Regardless, probably a good business. Long term, looks like they want to break out of this long-term pennant, push on up. I cannot be bearish on DE. And this might actually end up in my robotics basket. So thank you for putting it on my radar again. Moving on down, CRML, absolutely. Cure Fantastica, that's a fun name. Are you a biotech trader? You like precious or rare earth minerals, so you like degen big move trades. I do too, so might be a biotech investor. Anyways, critical minerals, critical metals popping on up. And this is another one where sometimes you got to turn your brain off. I don't know what this company, I don't know what their fundamentals, what their financials look like. What I do know is they have the words critical and metals in their name. So same deal with AI. The ticker AI was an amazing trade for me. Are they a good company? No, they are terrible. And they got punished for it as well. That being said, it had the thing in the name. So it gave you two great trades, the long and the short. Because it didn't deserve to go up, but it was gonna. Had it in the name. And then it's up here and it doesn't deserve it. As soon as the air gets taken out of the trade, this is the first to go down. And now it looks even worse. I don't know. Maybe it's starting to find seller exhaustion. This is like looking kind of accumulative in these. I don't know. It's tough. Big buy, but then big sell. Decent size buy. Big sell. Sell. Decent size sell. I don't know. I don't like it. But always keep an eye on what is the first order thinking play here. What is when your uncle hears you talking about stocks at Thanksgiving, what is his mind going to think is the obvious play? You know, where's the liquidity going to go rushing into? Something to consider. In terms of CRML, did I just totally not give you analysis on that? Sorry, let me look again. What you got to do for these high flyers that come back, parabolic movers in both directions. I'm a broken record, but that's because it works, guys. Systemic trading. slap a fib on it, it's testing the golden ratio. If it can hold above here, then it will go to the 50. I think it's probably programmed to test the equilibrium here. Another thing is just look at the volume being accumulated down here. We really do like that. I think it pushes up based on that. There's some analysis. Good morning, Sims in a cafe. Where are you checking in from again? I don't know, somewhere on the other side of the world. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you're having a great day already. And CCJ, Trader Benny asking, he's thinking a lot about it, and I think it's a good place to look because it's the blue chip in uranium. This and CEG, I would say. This is on the mining side, and we like the mining side of things. Boom. Big uppies, back testing here. I think this thing needs time to settle. To me, this is a topping candle in a chart that overall looks like it still wants to go up. So I think we watch this. If it gives a look back to the 100 level, that would be really nice to enter. I can't buy this, but I like it. Where I'm in for uranium, I like UEC. Kind of the same look though, right? So I am expecting pullback here next week, and then I would like to see it base and catch nicely. I'm in one runner of a 15 strike, 130 call. So I'm still green on it, but I sure wish I filled automatically up here. It popped all the way to 16. I was away from my desk this morning, so I missed that one. Whoops. All right, moving on down. Yes, Adhara saying Trump talked about banning Chinese drones again, so that's bad for RCAT, I believe. Yes. We'll see if the tacos. We will see how that plays out. I think there's jawboning right now between China and the United States, specifically in our direction to China. Basically, Trump is trying to secure as much leverage as he can into the big South Korean talks where him and Xi will be meeting. I believe this is the one that we are waiting for, the meeting we're waiting for. Why do I say that? Well, the Chinese stocks look ready again to me. I didn't check them today. This looks like what we should be focusing on into next year. To me, this looks very appealing. Guys, everybody forgets how good of a company Baba is. Alibaba is not going anywhere. I don't care how much you hate China. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to get delisted. I will eat crow if it does. Not the trader. I don't know him that well. But, I do think that this goes up in a big way. And on a higher time frame, very high conviction chart here for me. So I think it's time to get into Baba again. Probably BobX, the levered, 2x levered. I really like it. I really like this, and we can go over the other China names that I like really quickly. Baidu, very high quality. This one's kind of leaving me behind, just like it did last time. So boom, what an amazing chart. I think we load up into this imbalance here, days like today, and it should trade sideways here as moving averages catch up. Baba, I like a little better off the rip right here if I had to buy one out the gates on Monday. But essentially, I am trying to take things into a bigger perspective when I think about negative headlines in terms of, we're going to do this to China. Oh, China's going to do this to us. Oh, yada, yada. I think that knowledge is volatility dampening, and any outcome will give resolution to these stocks as long as it's not really bad. I think the market is kind of betting or, not anticipating the worst. I think they're anticipating a good resolution with how these are coiling, but it's like a game of chicken where it's like, okay, that's the trigger. Let's see how we coil into it. I think that this is setting up for good news, not bad news. That's what this looks like. The market could be wrong. These participants could be wrong. They could be degenerate China bulls like me. Maybe they're secret socialists. I don't know. Maybe they're all wrong, but I don't think so. This looks like they're right and accumulating into moving averages, and there will be a bullish catalyst. So that's kind of where I'm at with China as well. Oh, talk mentioning Deere had new equipment on display, and I'm back to being 15 minutes behind. I got to stop talking so much, huh? So we're gonna speed run it. AMPX for Trader Benny here. Thank you for keeping the tickers coming. You're putting a lot of good stuff on my radar. Ampex, Amprius Technologies. Oh, there's so many tickers with the same. So there's AMBX, AMBA, AMPX. There's the ABAT, ABAT. I don't know. Do we build a basket with all the ABs and APs and AXs? Maybe there's some alpha there, some edge there. I don't know what these guys do. I do like the chart. How I would look at this is we are dipping back into the long term base here, and if we can break out, which it does look like we're trying to turn the corner, then we entertain the possibility of a low liquidity run, stopping out all of the shorts who got in here, here, all the way up. This one I do like the look of it if it can turn this corner. There will be sellers into this kind of zone, something like that. See all this consolidation, all this kind of pivot here, especially this 1250 level, which makes sense, guys. So on any of these names, especially ones that look like they might squeeze, you always want to watch for the strike levels. I'm assuming this has options, an options chain. So the 10 level, that will be very responsive. The 1250, that'll be very responsive. Those are areas of interest for sure. So see, we're coiling under the 10. Definitely watch that 10 for a pop. Okay, AMPX. Serve Robotics, SERV. This is another that I don't think is very high quality. That doesn't mean it can't double. We have the double. We have the W here. We have the good old George W. We have the boom, boom, boom. And then when we get up here, it's mission accomplished on the aircraft carrier. You know what I'm saying? Picking up what I'm putting down. Pattern completes when we sweep this high, I do believe, now that we've gotten the confirmation over this W base. So now we liberate the bulls that are underwater here. We bring them some freedom up to the 18 handle, then the pattern's complete, mission accomplished. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. Yo, what's up, Mike? What's up, Mike? All right. Sims in a Cafe asking, is renewable energy in trend? Indonesia is harnessing geothermal power, but it's not easy. Even Japan is going nuclear. I think this is a narrative that will take a while to play out. I was such a massive uranium bull 5 years ago, and you know what? It bored me out. I had amazing entries at all of these companies, like UEC at 350. You know what? I sold at $3. I thought I was just wrong on the thesis, and it was too obvious. No, knowledge is just volatility dampening. They needed to shake all the dummies out of the market like me, because I didn't know what I was doing back then. I just said uranium looks like a great fundamental play. You know, it was. I just wasn't patient enough. I think it's going to be the same case in general with uranium. I think it's now is the time to start building the positions again, though. We can look at URA here, and this is not a fun candle. It's not what you want to see, but you know what? We're still over the W. I still think mission accomplished is up here and beyond. Much more so than the serve robotics, even, because this one actually is driven by a serious global supply shortage. There's not going to be enough uranium going forward. And that's a common trend. I don't think it's just a uranium thing. It's specifically a uranium thing, but not just a uranium thing. You know what I'm saying? All commodities. We should be entering an age of scarcity. Cure Fanatica, Fantastica, TE. I don't know what these guys do. My friend's in them and he's doing great. T1 energy, so some type of energy. Very strong still, but I just don't know how it's going to negotiate this. This could be a rising wedge that needs to flush out back to somewhere like here, somewhere like there, this 50-day. I like it high time frame. I'm not sure what it does here. I would need to know more about the stock. Oh, Cure Fantastica, the band, even better, brother. Love me some Cure. Some of the Cure. Good stuff. Good stuff. And if I may be presumptuous, the Fantastica, are you maybe from Latin America? I know they have a big following there. Love me some of the Cure. Sorry, it's probably obnoxious. Me responded to you guys 10 minutes after you post the comments. Going on next week, I will be working from the bottom up, so it's more relevant for you guys. ZNTL having a good after hours. Let's look at ZNTL real quick. And now I am going to put a cap, guys. I got to head out at some point. So get those tickers in the next minute or two. After that, I will be putting a cap on it. I got stuff to do too. Although I could do this all day. It's a lot of fun. So going on down here. Alibaba only getting better. I don't know about you guys, but I was doing my Christmas shopping and I was price comparing the things that I needed from Amazon to the things that I could get from Alibaba. Honestly, looking like the exact same stuff for 20 to 30% less. So check out seeing if you can get your generic stuff on Amazon through Alibaba, to be completely honest. That saved me a good amount this Christmas. So, I mean, I'm a Peter Lynchian investor, right? That's where my money's going. That's where I'm going. Nick hitting the Benjamin. I'll be joining you after this, brother. It's been a long week. Hey, there's the crow. What's up, brother? How you doing? There he is. His ears were ringing. He heard me talking about him. He heard me sound the bat signal, the crow signal. I'm sorry. You got one of those? You should get a custom LED light or a neon sign. SoFi, another one. I don't know what to do about SoFi. I don't know what to do about SoFi. It's got to do something, isn't it? Getting tight. I could see this going either way. Honestly, though, I'm kind of leaning bearish. This big sell here after the fake breakout, I don't like it. We are kind of holding it, but I need to see big bull volume coming in here. Otherwise, we lose 27, 2680. Could slide pretty quick. Could slide pretty quick. Not high conviction in either way. Long term, I think it resolves up. I don't know if it needs a 50% haircut first. Probably not. Probably not. SMB, SMB. The SMB. Short municipals? No wonder I've never seen this ticker. I don't think I've ever longed municipals, let alone shorted them, but this is very, very interesting. Mike, this is why it's on your radar? These big accumulative buys of this inverse ETF? My brain's too dumb. I don't know what this means. I got to think about this. This means something. This means something. I'm going to get back to you on this one. Kira's asking about solar. I don't know about solar either. I'm in FSLR and I'm red on it now. I was nice and green. I have to decide whether I need to tap out of this one. That'll be a Monday decision, I think. Thanks for reminding me. So this is what's keeping me in it. I think it's just a back test of this. If the weekly candle starts losing that low, then I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. I need to wait and see where it catches, and it might be a 200 buy. So we have this range that we're playing in. That 213 areas, that's calling to me. 200, 213. So that's an area I'd be looking for if it can't hold right here. I kind of think it wants to hold right here, though. In general, we can look at the ETF. The thing about the ETF is it's full of a bunch of crap. It's full of a bunch of stuff I don't want to be involved in. That being said, it's outperforming my FSLR right now, so maybe I'm wrong. There are a few other names I'm kind of vaguely interested, but I don't want to have too much exposure in solar, to be completely honest. Yeah, Canadian Solar got bopped there too, a little worse. So why I'm sticking with FSLR is because I think narrative or fundamentals wise, they're the only one worth being in. They are not exposed to the retail solar market. They're not the annoying bastards who keep going door to door for the past 3 years to me, trying to get me to buy some solar panels or something. Their technology is primarily based around really thin panels in their solar panels, and these use a lot less silver. I think we know what silver's been doing. I know what silver's been doing. It's been making anybody who uses silver look around and see how they can use less silver, because it's expensive and it's not getting cheaper, guys. Long term, it's not getting cheaper. Even if it goes down 30%, it's going to be higher in the future. So, solar, I'm not 100% sure right now. There's other areas that I like more for sure, but I have that exposure. All right, guys. All right, guys. We are getting on down to it. Chat moving so fast. Oh yeah, my big weekend nightlife plans are I'm gonna hop on with the boys, play some Arc Raiders, play some Dota. My boys, they need me. They need me. I haven't been gaming. And that's not okay. I'll go out tomorrow night. NVTS. Is this the Navitas Semiconductors? Haven't looked at this one in a while. Starting to get interesting again. Okay. My semiconductor plug, my Jay Arlington. Shout out Jay Arlington. He's the man. Check him out on Twitter. Check him out on Twitch. Um, Also, very good friend. Known him for years. He's very, very smart, especially about semiconductors. He doesn't like them. He doesn't like them. He likes the semi foundries, ASML. What is it? Lam Research. He has been a big bull on TSEM, Tower Semiconductor. Whoops. This one's phenomenal, by the way. This one looks like it wants to go higher. So pop this on your focus list. If you want to get a foothold on semis, if you're underexposed to semis, this one, absolutely phenomenal. Also, I'm going to pitch my book. We talked ALMU a few weeks ago. We talked about getting involved under 20. Look at it go, baby. Look at it go. Still love this one. If it flags out, I'll buy more. I'll do it. Don't tempt me with a good time. I'll do it. Oh, TE is solar. Thank you, Cure Fantastica. I did not realize that. You like TE? TE seems incredibly high quality. If that's solar and it's doing what none of the other ones are, okay. I need to do some research on TE. That's going on the list. Tesla has solar roof tiles. Yeah, I actually know somebody who has those, and he loves them. I don't know. You can look at Tesla. I'm still a Tesla bull. So there was big flow on Tesla long, TSLL calls. I forget the exact ones. Let me actually pull it up. I dropped that in my unusual flow in my server. Let me pull that up. All right. Get the inside scoop in the server here. So in our unusual flow channel, 10,000x Tesla long, 24 strikes for 618. That is a 3 million in premium flow call float there. So definitely keep that on your radar. I think we go up, and let's look at Tesla long and see where that 24 strike is. So what are they targeting with this? Holy moly, they're targeting new all-time highs, and I'm going to get involved in these. I'm going to buy one of these at least on Monday, because I think that's a good place to have my money in the bottom of the range of a stock that I really do think is going much higher. So that's what I think on Tesla. It's not a car company. Stop trying to value it like a car company. I don't want to hear it. I hate him too, guys. I know he's a loser, but you know what? I think he's not a bad CEO. So I will shut up about my personal feelings in long Tesla. How's that for analysis? Okay, guys, I'm fading here. We are going to get through the last of them here, but then okay, yeah, one more ticker, NBY. That ain't playing after hours. Let's take a look at that, and we'll end it on a high note. Just look at her. It's beautiful. Just look at her. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. Wow. Look at that. Nova Bay Pharmaceuticals. I'm assuming this is news driven because somebody started buying a ton after hours. Or not after hours, into power hour here. And it's just surging. Mike, you sound like my brain is screaming at me right now. Steve, go eat. Steve, hit the Benjamin. Would you just look at it? All right, guys. I hope you're all along this beautiful stock. I hope you are all blessed with a beautiful weekend and a beautiful start to the next week. You will catch me Monday afternoon, Power Hour. You know where to find me. You will catch Big Money Mitch, Big Michael Noss CMT right out of the gates in the morning. And we are just building our team here at Trade the Pool. We got such good stuff on tap here. Don't forget 114 in 5 days. You guys better be here because I'm going to be there. The best scalper in the world. Yes, I'm saying it. I am a Fabio Valentini stan. I simp for Fabio Valentini because he's taught me so much in such a short amount of time watching him. We have him live. We have him with a special webinar, guys. Don't miss it out. I don't know what the exact time is, but you can find that on Trade the Pool's Discord server. Joe is very diligent about putting those things up. And man, you don't want to miss this one. I'm telling you. Okay, that's my book. I've sold it. I'm going to let you guys go now. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and have a great weekend, everybody. Take care, y'all. Oh, wait, real quick. The event will not be recorded. This is super insider information. You get one shot to not miss your chance to blow. Don't miss it, guys. I'm telling you. It's good stuff. All right, I'll shut up now. Everybody, have a great weekend. Take care now. I'm Steve. This was not Power Hour. This was the webinar. We'll do it again next week. I'm out of here. Later, y'all.